Now I can crack this.
Yeah, baby. Oh, Marcus. Cracking up over here.
Cracking
Must be
suds.
Trying to have a little bit more high energy this
pretty
time.
fun. More high energy by having
By
a
drinking
beer,
a depressant.
by having a depressant.
Is that what's going to happen?
Exactly.
But you might be addicted to cracking open a cold one with the boys.
This is actually pretty lukewarm.
Hey, everybody. I'm Dane Holland, and I may be more machine than man.
I am Austin Shazam Pfeiffer, and you can't win them all.
I'm Marcus Whitaker, also known as I'm Electric Man, and Destiny is all.
I'm Austin Tiny Zent, and I just don't have anything funny.
Oh, that's fine. We won't have anything funny for the next hour on Nerd It Through the Grapevine, a podcast where four best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture.
You were this close.
Two.
Nothing.
So what? Did I?
Yep. You had a.
Which part?
I don't remember.
Ah, beans. I wish I would have done it. Now that sounds cool.
I was on something earlier today, and I'm
Drugs?
talking. Dude, I left myself wide open for that one.
I'll jump in if you do that.
Hey, that sounds like an orgy joke waiting to happen.
Well.
But what happens is there are things that I love, like fast food. And occasionally when I'm doing things like dieting and doing like this keto stuff that I'm doing, I'll look at stuff that I can't have and be like, what is the nutritional value of this? And let's break it down for yourself. So this is what's going on.
Oh, no.
But I got into that, and then the internet decided what I really wanted to look at was fast food fails. And this is absolutely ridiculous, some of the stuff that I found on here. And this is just the Burger King edition.
This is all Burger King?
This is just the Burger King edition.
How much have they failed?
Oh, they failed quite a bit, but these are my highlighted ones here because there are a lot of things that Burger King has tried over the years to try to stay relevant because McDonald's just kind of keeps doing the same thing and it just keeps working, and then they'll slightly alter something and then it'll still keep working. Because when the big changes happen, that's when you'll find the big lashings that'll come back along with it. Like when McDonald's decided they were going to make their first vegetarian burger, and it was just that slice of pineapple inside of a sandwich with a slice of cheese on top of it.
Gross.
Wait, really?
I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Be careful. How
Easy,
strong is it?
easy.
Say,
buddy.
if you eat anything at the McDonald's besides breakfast, I don't know if we can be friends because their food tastes like just greasy plastic.
Well,
It's awful.
That is an interesting point because Burger King had something that I used to enjoy on the regular, mind you, and I never knew that it was a big issue because it was the most delicious breakfast sandwich I'd ever had in my life. But it was the XXL breakfast omelet sandwich, and it packed a whopping 4,400 calories per sandwich. It had bacon, it had sausage, it had cheese, it had egg, it had special sauce.
Yeah, it did.
All on a 6-inch, no, a 7-inch. That's the thing. They made their own custom buns to give you that. And I swear to you, Marcus's eyebrows are shaking up and down like I'm not going to make this joke, but that was the exact thing that happened. They called it the big 7 inches that you desire.
No, they didn't.
Swear to you, because in the ad campaign, the woman that posed for it was posing with like her mouth open, and this big 7-incher sandwich was like going towards her mouth.
What?
And she had no idea that what she was posing for was going to be an innuendo for a giant hunk of meat sandwich.
Wow.
So, but they actually discontinued those, not because of a flop in like sales or anything else like that. Yeah, big flop in 7-inch. But it's not because of a flop in sales that they stopped, but it was because they were actually worried about potential lawsuits from them cramming so many negative calories into that somebody's not gonna that you don't need that much of. But you know, people like me loved it, and I'm kind of a glutton, so
They did make it in a burrito form a couple years ago, and they included hash browns.
and you know what? I love that he
And
keeps
it was
popping me.
so good.
They had the Whopperito. Do you remember the Whopper
Oh, yeah.
that was the most God-forsaken abomination to ever grace the fast food shelves, in my opinion, because you love the way that the original Whopper is designed. You know,
Do you?
Well, if you're a fan of the Whopper, you love it.
I like a char grilled burger here and then more than a microwaved one.
Yeah, you see? So what happens is the Whopperito took the idea of thinking outside the bun, heavy quotations, ring the bell, yo quiero Taco Bell. You don't need to change your formula for how you actually put your burger together. You just need to wrap it in a wrap and call it the Whopperito.
And you cut it in half.
And don't take away your recipe for the Whopper. They took away the mayonnaise and the ketchup and the mustard and the onions.
There's no mustard.
And the tomato.
I'm pretty sure
It's
there's
mayonnaise and ketchup.
If there's no mustard on a
No.
on a Whopper.
I live 2 minutes from the BK Lounge. There is no mustard on there.
Oh, well, I'm just saying the normal condiments that come on there, they completely
Ketchup, mayonnaise.
Yeah, okay, cool. Ketchup, mayonnaise.
And
They-
maybe mustard.
They take that off of there completely and they replace it with a spicy queso cheese sauce to try to make it more burrito-y. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, they did.
It was not a good thing at all. Nobody liked it. They got made fun of heavily for it. They were called a disaster.
I liked it. One person liked it. That's me.
You didn't review it enough on Google, okay?
Well, I
this
don't-
is your fault.
I don't Google review anything.
You should have Bing reviewed it.
I don't even Bing review anything.
Okay, now, you know how they have all these foods that are available that everybody's using activated charcoal in to change the color of it to a dark, dark black?
Can
Like
also make you
toothpaste.
vomit.
Now, Burger King did it first for this dying black food with the Halloween edition Whopper buns, in which they use a combination of different food colorings. And fun fact
the
about
spooky
these,
burger.
the spooky burger. And the fun thing that everybody remembers the most about the spooky burger is the chemical reaction once it hit intestinal fortitude. And that means that black got slightly digested and not all the food coloring processed inside of that burger got removed. And you pooped a dark forest green colored wax.
Come to the dark side.
That's exactly. Oh my gosh, I can't. I couldn't imagine the way that I would feel if I looked down, because I occasionally
God.
did. You got to inspect it every once in a while. You got to
Every
know.
time. You
gotta
look
know.
every time as a man.
I couldn't imagine looking down into the toilet and seeing the same hue as the Appalachian Mountains, just that that really vibrant, dark forest green.
Dry Valley Brown.
It's a happy little tree.
And that's not even my real topic. I want to know.
Hold on, wait.
What?
Angry
Oh, no.
Whopper. The Angry Whopper. It was the best one.
That happened for a little
was-
while. That
it
was
was
a limited.
delicious.
That was a limited time, not a cancellation.
Was
due
the
to
big
a-
floppy 7-incher? Was that the Burger King's?
Yeah.
That was the King's floppy 7-incher. That was from them.
Yes.
Because I thought
Did
we were
that
still
lady
talking
get-
to McDonald's.
Did
then.
that lady
No.
get mad and like sue them?
About the coffee? No, that was McDonald's.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the big 7-incher lady?
That one.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one.
She got mad about it, but I don't think she ever sued him. But she was a model though, so I'm not making that's low hanging fruit. I'm not gonna talk about whatever. Hey, so my real topic is actually, if you were a Disney character in a Disney movie, which Disney character would you be, and how would you change the way that you do your stuff?
Oh, no.
I'm going to start off with my example, and you can follow suit or not suit, depending on your choices.
Suit. I've not had a comfortable suit before, but I've never been fitted for one either. So
I would be Rapunzel from Tangled, and I would be, instead of having luxurious golden locks, I would have a luxurious beard that I have grown the entirety of my life, and due to me being afraid that people would judge me too harshly for my exuberance and care for my beard, that I've locked myself away. But I would occasionally allow visitors.
would you let me climb your beard into your castle?
Yes, and my name is not Rapunzel, though.
Okay.
It's much manlier than that. It's Roopsie.
I think I would just be Rafiki and do pretty much exactly what he does. Basically, just live by himself out in the middle of nowhere and just, he's got enough information to follow the plot and the story of everything that's going on, and he has his own theories about what's going on, obviously. and I guess in the movie they kind of turn out to be true.
Yeah.
But I can't. I don't know. I don't know if I would run like experiments on the animals, like by giving them entheogens and like just seeing how they behave. I
Are
don't
you
know.
telling me that you would be a mad scientist version of Rafiki?
I think so.
Think about
Yes.
that and how amazing
But
that
I mean,
sounds.
I think I'm benevolent, but I don't really know. I don't know.
It depends
I mean,
on
what
your
happens
point of
when
view.
you give a bunch of antelope?
Psilocybin mushroom? Yeah,
exactly.
it was on the tip of your tongue and I could see it.
So would your
yeah.
lab coat be like the skin of a polar bear?
No, I don't
think-
know.
okay.
Okay,
think
I
those
know
are-
they're not in Africa.
you're
No,
right.
he's
but
not Peter Freuchen.
you could get there. You could get him in there. You could get him.
Yeah, some version of Rafiki, maybe a little bit more in the fringe, even
Okay.
more.
Like a little crazy eyes, a little bit more crazy eyes going on with
Yeah.
him.
Ooh, and
Okay.
him not be
A little bit
baboon.
more, altered states of consciousness.
Give me a crazier animal than a baboon for you to be if you're going to be a Rafiki character, though.
What?
A crazier.
Oh, we're changing what animal he is too.
If you want to go full on in, like what's going to be crazier than Rafiki's character playing that same one, but also a mad scientist?
I don't know what you're asking me.
He wants you to change Rafiki from a baboon to something different.
To another animal? But
Yeah.
it's just so perfect that it's
Yeah,
a
it's too
baboon.
good.
You think the baboon
It's
is just
too
where it
good.
needs to be?
He's got the
Yeah.
hands and the fingers for the beakers.
Plus you get
I mean, well,
boom,
that's
boom.
at least, yeah. I mean, I could, if everybody else goes, I could think of maybe another one.
No, that's good. I like
There's
that.
so many bees in it that it's awesome. Baboon.
See, there's a lot of Rafiki we don't see in the movie as well. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
he's not
He's
in
pulling the
every
strings.
scene, so
Right.
he could be doing all these things you're saying that you would do as him, and we just don't know it yet.
I mean, all those animals trip out pretty hard when that sun sets on Pride Rock, and he's,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they're,
We need
He's
a
the
Disney
wizard
After
behind the
Dark.
curtain. He's the wizard behind the curtain.
He is.
he may
he
be.
is the man in Oz.
He might. I mean, he's definitely the archetype.
I hope he doesn't drop that
He definitely knows something that none of the other ones do. Mufasa may know aspects of it, but it's a need-to-know basis.
Well, Mufasa's dead through most of the movie.
He's also a sky cloud, all-knowing.
I mean, he
spirit
ascends
beast.
to godhood. I'll give you that.
Yeah, he's more than a line now.
I like this.
I would be Finn from Star Wars because that is a Disney character.
Hey, Trudy, I know you're listening to this right now. I owe you. You called it.
That I would say a Star Wars character.
10-4,
I did, but
rubber
you
duck.
didn't think I would say Finn.
I don't know
Because
who you are.
as Finn, if I were Finn in the movies, or no, not even in the movies, in the Star Wars universe, with the cameras that are walking around and filming everything that I'm doing, I wouldn't allow them to take that camera away from me and make me say just Ray out loud a whole bunch of times. I would make them develop my character the way I should have been developed, the way I started to be developed at the beginning. I was a stormtrooper, okay?
Yes.
Working for the baddies. I was a bad boy. And then I decided, I want to be a good boy. I can't do this bad boy stuff. I run away. And then I even have a lightsaber at some point. I get just absolutely obliterated while using it, but I don't know how to use that thing. That's fine. That makes sense. But then after that, after I heal, I almost become more of a funny, lesser character, and it's like, no, we need to make way for these other ones, the Jedi and the Sith. Like, we need to make way for them. We can't have you be interesting anymore. We already had enough of that at the beginning.
And I blame that mostly on the fact that it went from episode to episode where we had that gap of directors and
The change. Yeah.
So the change over into The Last Jedi being Marcus's favorite of the trilogy.
Yeah.
Bless you. God, are you okay?
Honestly, it might be at the same time my favorite and the worst one, like the opposite of my favorite.
Kind of like Dane
That's
with the Lord of
exciting.
the Rings: Return of the King.
It's like a black, yeah. It's like a cognitive dissonance. It creates cognitive dissonance in my head.
Whoa.
But I never did really agree. Like, it just seemed strange to make the stormtrooper defector a comedic kind of character. It seemed like he would be more of a gruff, kind of like hardened type character.
Yeah,
I
the
always
things
thought.
that he saw
Well,
that made him wanna-
maybe because he had to be so serious and gruff that he's finally getting a chance to let out his goofy side.
I guess, but you'd think that he, if he'd been living with that guilt and it was able to break the conditioning enough to get out of the Empire or the New Age Empire or whatever.
The New Order.
Yeah. That he would, I don't know. I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting choice to make
First
him
Order.
First Order.
Yeah, that one.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that part of it, that lighter-hearted part of him, is the reason why he never went far, because they changed him from a stormtrooper to a janitor.
Yeah, because I remember exactly
Yeah.
in the same movie, and like at the first though, he's like, the first time we see him, he's struggling. He's having this moral dilemma right from the get go, and he's like, I can't do this.
Right.
You know, it's a darker kind of scene.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then he's just kind of the sidekick boyfriend, wannabe boyfriend. Like he's got a crush on Rey, but he doesn't.
But he doesn't. No,
Yeah.
that's just, it's a really good friend of his. You know, that kind of thing. At first, it's a hit on her thing, but they form such a tight friendship. But I think he deserved more than what he got.
Absolutely.
I want to know
much
what he
more.
wanted to tell her.
I would have made them keep the camera on me, and I would have made them change my lines if I were Finn, and I would become what I should have been.
Cool.
I was also going to say a Star War, but now I'm not. But I would have said Luke, and I would have done all the mundane things using the Force. But what I'm going to say instead, because I'm not going to mention a Star War, I would say Olaf from Frozen.
Oh, please.
What does that mean?
No, I'm so excited. I love Olaf. He's my favorite.
Well, no, see, what I would do is I would roll around and accumulate more and more snow until I become a giant, beefy snowman, and I would be smarter, and I would become a Viking, and I would light people's houses on fire
With
and
snow?
pillage. No, with fiery arrows, but I would be so tightly packed with dense snow that I could do that and not melt.
It'd be like Katamari Damacy with funny. Was it Josh Gab? Is that his name? Josh. What's his name? The voice of Olaf.
Oh, I don't know. I still haven't seen the second
Oh
one.
no, I wouldn't be funny. I would be tiny. I would have the personality of me, tiny.
Yeah,
And
you're
I'm
not
a
funny at all
non-funny
on
boy.
a comedy podcast.
Exactly. I'm a non-funny boy, and I would just be mean and beefy and just pillage.
And somehow,
Olaf, to me, that sounds kind of like a Viking name, right? Is that a
does.
Viking name? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't the movie take place in like Norway or somewhere in that area?
the country's called Arendelle. But anyway,
Nerd.
Same difference.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big nerd here. The problem with that I see is that the clown's makeup would it stay on the snowman character / Viking /
It would penetrate.
just okay, so it'd go all the way through.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You would see it on the back and front of my face simultaneously.
Panda. So that would I like that. I like that. Okay. I'll accept that answer. But I'd really, you have to have a song, though, and I have to figure out what that song is right now. I've only given myself 10 seconds to do so. You're going to have a song. It's going to be about you. I'm going to get big. That's the song. I'm going to get big. That's going to happen. Going to rule it all. Going to roll around. Going to go to your house. Going to knock it down. Be big. That's Tiny song.
Burn it down. I would burn it down. That's the only criticism I have of that song.
Well, I tried
That's pretty
my best.
good for.
Other than that, it was
figure it out.
fantastic.
I tried my
loved
best.
it.
Tried my best. And that's my topic. Who wants to go next?
So my topic today is a revisit, but not like any revisit you've ever seen.
Marcus, what were
Did
you
you
going to
see
say?
what happened? I usurped.
Were we about to steal?
I was about to steal.
You were about to steal, but Tiny stole?
Tiny stole.
Okay, parting the curtain a little bit. We spoke before. I was supposed to go next. And here, Marcus is about to get into it, and Tiny left his ringer on his phone, so he's
And I
grounded.
just now
and it's
turned it
Marcus.
off.
Hold on,
Well,
there's a spider
we had-
floating in front of my face. Killed it.
There was a long pause, and someone had to go in.
I was waiting on my opportunity.
And I saw Marcus doing something like, oh, he's about to interrupt him.
I
And
had the
he's about
perfect
to kill-
transition.
And then Tiny just blasts up.
Ruined again.
And he just blasts up in there and usurps the usurper before everybody knew it was going to be usurped. I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as the other dude.
Exactly. Marcus, do you really want to go next? Because
I think
I'll
the
let
moment's
you.
passed.
I think
hasn't
it has.
You had the
Okay.
perfect
It has.
segue.
Well,
And once again,
The big 7-incher
Sorry,
has
buddy.
gone flaccid.
but speaking of the big 7-incher, this is Tiny's terrible tabs.
Yes!
And my first
Fantastic.
tab is I'm going to read the title. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Give it a smacking. Yes, Daddy.
The Definitive Guide to Superhero Dicks.
Wait, what?
You heard me.
No.
The Definitive Guide to Superhero Dicks.
Who? No.
Yes. It's all about whether or not they're circumcised.
Wait.
Yes.
But
No.
they're
Wieners.
cartoons.
Yes.
They're cartoons. If you've never seen it, how
Well,
do you know?
In an issue of Batman, you do see his wiener, and there's a picture of it right here. And
Let me
this
give
man
me
is
that.
circumcised.
Give me your phone. Let me see that.
Batman is canonically circumcised. Can
No,
everybody see that?
that's not a wiener.
Does his wing dang doodle got a
That's
hood
not a
or
wing.
not?
That's a wiener.
Oh,
That's a wiener.
Yeah.
It is a wiener.
All right. Well,
Tell me the issue.
That-
I gotta
that's
let
the
Kyle.
bat wiener.
I gotta let
He
Kyle
lived
know
out of
what,
the
what.
cave.
I gotta let Kyle know what episode or
That's
what
the bat
issue
wiener.
that is in. Does it tell you if
It
Here.
does,
You
but
keep
I'll
t-
tell you later.
yeah, you
because
keep
it'll take a
talking.
while to
I'll
find it.
Google it while you're
Okay.
talking. I'll just
my
stop
God.
listening.
Superman, more than likely not circumcised because he's not from here.
He ain't from around here.
Right.
Okay.
He grew up here. He
Aquaman.
was a baby whenever he landed here and grew
True.
up in Kansas.
True, but
good-
I mean,
good
would
luck
you
yanking and
circumcise a
shanking that
stranger
thing.
weenie? Plus, the man's bulletproof, so
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I was just thinking about the Clark part.
Aquaman.
Yeah.
It says a foreskin is like a fin, helping the sea hero glide through the ocean. Thus, the sweet Aquaman is still uncut.
His pants are down.
That's just what it said.
What are these sources?
I don't know. This is a Vice article.
Oh, it's off of Vice.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
The Flash, he is circumcised because he self-describes himself as a nice Jewish boy.
Okay.
Cyborg probably doesn't even have a wiener.
Yeah.
Captain America, well, he's Captain America, so obviously he's circumcised. Spider-Man, same thing. Iron Man, he come from a rich family, so obviously the circumcised. Thor, uncircumcised. Black Panther, uncircumcised. The Hulk, who knows, but it's probably gigantic. Doctor Strange, he's circumcised because would you want an uncircumcised wizard? I don't think so. Hawkman, definitely cut. Vision, he built his own body, so we're unsure. Star-Lord grew up in the 70s, so he's cut. Groot has no penis. Rocket has a red rocket. Drax is uncut because he probably has a Prince Albert and he does a lot of other body modifications. The Thing, it probably looks like a rock, so it doesn't count. Mr. Fantastic, I bet he stretches it and uses it like a parachute when he's in times of trouble, so I bet he's not cut. Wolverine, it probably grew back. Magneto's Jewish, so he's cut. The Beast, he's definitely uncut because have you seen his fingernails? Deadpool, who knows, but it probably grew back because of his healing abilities. That was the entirety of the list in like 5 seconds.
Oh, Batman Damned #1 is the issue. Batman
Yes.
Damned #1.
Kyle, in Batman Damned #1, you can find this.
The
You can-
Batwinky.
The Batwing.
The Batwing.
The Batwing.
Okay, so
Funny.
the next tab on my list, I was price checking things
Oh, no.
for whatever reason. So you can get a disposable speculum for $8, or you can get a disposable one with an LED light for $100.
Do I want to ask?
It is for opening body orifices for examinations.
I see. So if
Or
I've got like
weird
a
things.
really gnarly booger going up in the deepest part of my nose,
Too small
I
of a
can
hole.
use one.
Think more like examining a walnut.
I don't need to put a hole in a tree to look at a walnut. It just hangs right off the limb.
I've seen
Your
Tommy
boy
Boy. That is a
Walnut.
really good reference to that movie. I love that.
Yeah, your boy Walnut. So also,
I made a reference.
Yeah. You said I can get a fine look at a T-bone by sticking my head up
that.
a bull's ass, but I'd rather just take the butcher's word for it. That's
Yeah.
word
That's
for
what I
word what
said.
you
I
said.
just said
absolutely.
that, everybody. I quoted the movie.
You did, and we're proud of you.
Thank you.
Probably sell ketchup popsicles to a woman in white gloves. I've also found an armored Christ transforming toy. There's a video. It's a crucifix that transforms into Jesus wearing armor.
What?
Plot armor?
No, just armor. See? See?
Oh,
I can't.
that's so good.
Starts off here and transforms to that.
Jesus, Transformer.
Yeah. And I've been
transforming Christ.
pretty much.
Available at.
I've found the link to 3D print it, but I do not have a 3D printer.
Yet.
If you're out there and you have a 3D printer, I will buy the thing that will allow us to print this, because you cannot find it for sale anywhere because I've looked. Well, you can in this one strange country, and their monies are squiggles, and I don't trust them.
Jesus, 3D print and transforming Christ.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we also have something that sounds like a fantastic rock band called Frog Underground.
That sounds kind of like a Toad and Wet Sprocket kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's from the 90s.
Yeah. Well, apparently somebody on Facebook that I'm friends with, they were digging outside to plant some stuff, and they dug up a frog, and they're like, why are there frogs underground? And so I Google it, and apparently some frogs burrow underground in the dry season to get moisture from in the dirt. So be careful when you're digging. Watch out for frogs.
So those holes that we see out in our yard sometimes might not be moles. They might be burrowing frogs.
Yes.
And Dane hates frogs so much, guys. I hope he's walking
I
a dog
don't
one day.
hate frogs.
You fear them.
I fear them. I do not hate them. I am very glad they exist. Many of them are cute. But the fear of stepping on one is real bad for me.
They're not real bones.
There's no bones. There's no bones.
Oh, no, they bounce.
When you step on one?
No, when you throw them against a house.
Marcus.
I haven't
That's
done this.
cruel.
I've seen it
Marcus.
done. I didn't do
Marcus.
it.
If
I
we-
didn't do it.
I
didn't
swear,
do
if
it.
you get red paint thrown on me because you just made that animal statement of hate, you take it back
I
right now. We're
did
taking it
not
back.
do it, but I have seen frogs thrown at buildings.
My
You didn't
body
stop it.
is
Well,
starting to
how am
cave
I
in on
supposed to stop
itself.
some stupid idiot doing
Punch him
that?
in the throat.
He'll just croak if he does that.
Yeah. Or you reach underneath
what-
and grab them by the scrot and just pull backwards. Then they'll like flip head over feet.
Next time.
If you step, I mean, I've never stepped on one, but the day it happens, I'm gonna throw up.
I once killed a frog with my bare hands by accident by smothering it to death and trying to love it too much, and I cried for no less than an hour and a
See,
half.
that is an acceptable way to kill a frog.
And
loving
my-
it so much that it can't go on.
And if anybody ever gets to meet my parents and talk to my parents, ask them about the 15-minute frog. And that's the label that they gave the story from my childhood, where I tried to love the frog and hold on to the frog as tight as I could to be my best friend, and I squished it and smothered it at the same time in my little infantile hands.
Kind of sounds like my brother in his pocket full of lizards.
Terrifying.
Yeah, he had like 6 lizards in his pocket, and we went to play Power Rangers, and he tripped and fell. It was disastrous for those little guys.
To be able to catch 6 lizards to begin with,
Yeah,
very
they're little blue
impressive.
tails.
And to get them all in your pocket, even more.
What kind of Will Ferrell movie are you living in?
Oh man, I've had a weird life. So that brings us to the Church of the Robotron. The very first thing on the website under Church of the Robotron, are you the mutant savior?
Me?
Probably.
600
I do have horseshoe kidney.
6,902 tests have been performed. We still seek the mutant savior.
What's
on.
the test?
It doesn't say.
Of course it doesn't say.
But-
it's 23andMe, isn't it?
No.
Well, then how are we supposed to know how to make a transformer out of this Messiah figure like the other people did?
Something
Their
totally
religion.
different. I'm going to read you part of their mission statement. The font, it hurts my eyes.
This
it's
one
awful.
deserves a transformer, Robotron.
Yeah. Well, only 63 years until the Robotrons conclude that the human race is ineffective and must be destroyed. Only the mutant produced by a genetic engineering error can save us now. The Church of Robotron is a mobile training facility that uses hazardous environments, religious indoctrination, and emotional triggers to promote the development of the skills necessary to survive in a hostile, post-human environment. We hope to use our field installation and to educate and indoctrinate people about the robot uprising and progress. We know that superior machines exist. We know that they have already decided that the human race must be destroyed. And we know that the only way to convey this knowledge is with a visceral and even spiritual ordeal. The savior of our species must be identified and trained. And there's a lot more, and you can read it on your own.
So, in the terms of agreement, they have even said, we're going to torture you spiritually and physically.
Yes. And check out their trippy website.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in.
I'm in for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And there's links to their sermons.
The whole time you were talking about that, I kept watching the little circular robot that has a name that starts with an A that lives in the side of the room over there. I kept watching her to see if she was lighting up because they always be listening.
It's true.
They're
true.
always listening. So I was afraid. Oh man, if it would have lit up,
Yeah.
we would have known.
Well, those two great bunches over there have been blinking.
No, that's the bullshit detector.
Oh.
Every time Dane lies, they turn off. Every time somebody
Okay.
redeems themselves, they turn back on. It's a
Gotcha.
process.
They mostly did it during his talking.
So we've got these great bunches that are hung from the wall, and they're lights as well because, well, our studio is decked out to the brim, and it's amazing. And apparently every time I lie, I think it's every time I lie and don't know I'm lying.
I think so.
I think that's what it is. Every time I'm lying to myself and not knowing it, the grapes flicker on the wall.
The grapes want you to be better.
A better me?
Yeah.
It's your higher self.
The grapes have deemed it so,
no.
and it certainly isn't because they might have been at a discount store,
No,
or they
can't
would have
be
been
it.
just like older lights or something that might be
No.
going on.
It's something to do with me lying.
It's the metaphysical.
Shut up, skeptic.
Oh, by God,
They just blinked. Oh,
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
oh no.
So now this ties into our alien discussion and experience the other day. Strange biblical prophecy announces the end of the world and an alien invasion.
Nice.
Are you ready for the end of the world? Again?
Again?
According to an evangelical theologian, the apocalypse is coming and the end of the world will around 2021. That is grammatically awful. And our civilization is on the brink of being annihilated. The recently deceased evangelical theologian D. F. Kenton Beshore, president of the World Bible Society, claimed that according to a series of messages hidden deep within the Bible, the end of the world would take place before the year 2021 and would include a violent extraterrestrial invasion. The World Bible Society is convinced that not only will the apocalypse occur very soon, but Jesus will return to earth soon after. According to the World Bible Society, the end of the world will end on or before the year 2021, and Jesus will return to earth in 2028 after the apocalypse.
So what you're trying to tell me is that invasion has already begun. We just don't even know it yet. So doomsday doesn't have to be a single day. It can be an event, the doomsday event. The event can last a certain amount of time in which that event can be concluded. That's really cool. So it's happening right now. The aliens are going to invade us, and then Jesus is going to come back in 7 years? How
7
many
years.
In 7 years.
Is he
Jesus
the
will be-
Robotron?
Jesus will come back and he will
Maybe.
fight the aliens with fists
Yes.
of holy justice.
He's a transformer.
Well, and like I've done a study of eschatology, which is the study of end times. And in Revelations, when it says the word in a time, that word a time is 7 years. So that fits in with what he's saying. So 2021, world ends in a time. 7 years later, 2028, he comes back and defeats the aliens.
And this is where the Nostradamuses of nerdism come into play here. When that armor that somebody has 3D, oh my God,
Oh,
I'm
3D
smacking that-
printed.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah, Daddy.
Get it? Oh, wrong way. I just gotta let us.
Yes,
So
Father.
you had the Jesus with the armor 3D printed on him, and that is just our future sight telling us that when he comes to fight the aliens, he will steal their technology. He will make it better.
And see, the Robotron, they know he's already been reborn again on Earth. And so
Yes.
they're trying to find him so they can deck him out in that Robotron armor.
Absolutely.
For him to be the Jesus 3D printed alien technology armored transforming Christ.
Yes. Absolutely.
And then next year, the website will say 2022 is when the end times are
Well,
here, and then
That
2029
guy's dead.
is when that.
So-
the one who makes the website?
No, the person who said that is
Oh, I
dead
know, but the
now.
person who makes the website's still around.
I don't know.
So you just erase the 2021 and you put 2022, and then
then you have
2029 is when it
2029.
comes back, right? Yeah, that way you're always right. You're always on. So
Right.
whenever it does happen, it's like, well, we told you.
I mean, that's true.
Oh yeah, that could continue for forever. Sorry, I got really far away from
You
it. It's like I was
did.
scared of it.
You ran
Did you think it was
away
gonna
from
bite you?
everything.
I don't know.
Is there
It's-
anything on there on how to convert to Robotron? I'm interested. I'm an
Well,
interested candidate.
That's in their sermons. I listened to the first one.
Give me the gist of. Give me the bullet points. Okay, it's all right. You
I
don't,
don't
have to.
know, man.
I don't care.
There was a lot of words and a lot of nothing at the same time.
Yeah, it sounds like a troll, honestly.
I wonder if the.
I mean, that's what
Neuralink-
it looked like to me.
Yeah, like the
watching
spaghetti monster stuff.
Yeah.
Marcus, do you have a good transition from Tiny's topic to go ahead
Speaking
and
of
go?
Vikings,
Perfect.
why is our culture like all of a sudden obsessed with them?
I'm gonna.
We have 3 people rocking Viking hairstyles right now. Technically 4.
Technically 4, yeah. The nun on top with the beard on the bottom.
Yeah, honestly.
Well, I have Viking ancestry.
Yeah.
.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've traced my ancestors back to my grandfather, who came from Poland. He was right on the border between Poland and Russia. He was a Russian Pole. I'm a 3rd generation American. But you go even farther back, and then my people go to Norway, and then those Nordic areas, and I've traced myself back to Ragnar.
For real, like
Yes.
literally.
Where'd you get
Like,
these
for real.
That's
pictures?
cool. I wish I knew that about myself.
Yeah.
I don't.
Where did you get these pictures?
Pictures.
Yeah, the ones you traced.
You're an idiot. Anyway, so I've traced my heritage using the internet and not pencil and paper.
But did you have to
actually
do the like
Vikings.
23andMe stuff? or-
I've not. I did this before 23andMe.
So how'd you do it with like your last
A
name? Or
lot of looking. Yeah, it started with my last name. Well, actually, my grandfather's last name, because he had it shortened when he came here. His last name was Zientkiewicz. Fun spelling. It took me a long time to learn that one. But yeah,
well, that's
that's how
cool.
I got there.
Anyway, any other theories as to
Well,
why it's so popular right now?
I think it's the same thing with anything that becomes popular, such as style and stuff. I think things have a cycle. Like we just happen to be in that Viking cycle, and then we'll move on from it onto whatever. Like the wizarding cycle was a thing for a while, where like I know Vikings were real things,
Yeah.
but like there's this
So are wizards.
There's this pop culture like phenomenon that happens, and then it kind of moves on to the next hotness, just like how the clothing styles, like all the what it's in style now, like I think the 90s are working their way back or something with like streetwear, to where you've got the bigger clothes and the big like champion shirts and stuff like that. Like it looks very 90s right now. And before that, like maybe the 70s were in. I think it's just the same as like clothing. Like it's a time right now where Vikings are just hot, man. And I don't know.
They are hot.
Then what's gonna?
I mean,
oh yeah, smoking hot.
They're definitely hot.
Well, what's gonna happen next?
I mean, I've seen bell bottoms being rocked right now on campus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are coming
Okay.
back. That's something that's hitting pretty heavy at this point too. Is the kind of that 1960s, 1970s kind of flower child movement look going on again?
Yeah.
that's happening pretty heavy again right now.
Yeah, that's annoying.
But even like, I'm into it and I'd rock it. Yeah, because I mean, video games and TV shows, I think, are the 2 big ones that I've noticed. Like,
Yeah. Well,
Vikings
there's
all
the
over
Vikings
place.
craze. The show.
Right.
Where does that come on?
Ooh.
That's on History Channel.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. I like The Last Kingdom a lot.
Yep.
Has anybody seen that one?
I am Uhtred, son of Uhtred.
Yeah, destiny is all.
I've heard really good things. I hear it's a lot more historically accurate than Vikings. Vikings is awful if you're looking for historical accuracy.
That's why it's on the History
Also,
Channel.
and
I
a
just
lot
want
of
to
the
throw
way
out there, shield maidens were never a thing. Sorry to burst everyone's bubble. They did not exist. They only exist in your mind.
and in all the video games and movies now.
Yeah.
But I lost what I was going to say. Oh, so it's as far as like you were talking their fashion in the shows, it's like that none of that's very historically accurate. Like the way we portray Vikings on the TV and in the video games is apparently not that historically accurate.
None of it. Like a lot of times they're pictured with like the horned helms. That wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
The leather armor.
Right, leathered.
I mean, some things were reinforced with leather, but as far as armor made of leather did not really exist. In the Highlands, which a lot of Vikings went to the Highlands, they did wear a thick leather belt around their belly region, but that's really the only historically accurate piece of leather armor that we've been able to find.
Well, it's more fun to romanticize them. I mean, they were also very brutal and terrible, like people.
The Vikings specifically.
Vikings specifically.
Maybe not the Danes
No.
general.
Yeah, well,
but-
Danes, we're pretty good people.
Yeah.
They we romanticize it
I see what
to
you did.
take away some of that brutality, I think, because they're cool looking and they seem real cool, but it's
But see, they're only cool looking because of how we make them look.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's
so
like-
that's where I'm curious. Is like, I wonder what's going on here. Because you say, it's kind of like fashion, and it is kind of like it's a fad, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, because like, I don't know, I haven't played Valhalla yet, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but I'm still playing Odyssey. But eventually, I probably will play it
Still
because
playing Black
just
Flag.
the setting is just so cool. Like all the different kingdoms of England in.
The Wolf is playing it, and he's about to platinum it, which means beat every single part of the game that you can beat. But he absolutely loves it.
Valhalla?
Loves it. Yes, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and they actually have been so accurate with their settings, like of the settings in that world, that they said like you could use this in a classroom to teach about this setting of this area.
My niece came to visit me recently, and there's something called Discovery Tour on Odyssey, and they're bringing it back to Valhalla, and it's literally it just cuts out all the violence of the game and just kind of takes you on a tour, and it starts you out in Odyssey in Athens, and you go and see the Parthenon, and you see all these historically accurate.
Yeah, historic
Daddy.
Hercules. Is that what you could say?
Historically accurate sites and stuff, and it's beautiful. I mean, you can jump up on the top of the statue of Athena, look across the ancient city of Greece, and jump off. I mean, it's amazing. It really is beautiful, and that's why I guess these games take millions and millions of dollars to make.
Right.
But yeah, and so that's one of the draws to those big AAA games, and so I definitely want to get my hands on Valhalla at some point.
Yeah.
But have y'all seen anything about Hellblade?
No, what's Hellblade?
No.
I don't know, but you were at my house the other night, Austin.
Yes, that's me.
And so I'm kind of into this band called Heilung, I think is how you say it. I'm not sure. Maybe you would know more, Tiny.
I would have to see it.
It's Heilung.
Sounds about right. To me.
Anyway,
Is that the ones that was slapping on those 4-string
Yes.
instruments and like
okay, so they
standing on
come.
the mountains?
They're like, I don't know how many piece band they are. There's like a lot of people doing lots of percussion. For you youngins out there, think of like a rave except in like 1328.
Dude, they don't even know what a rave is anymore. What are you talking about?
Well, they think they do. So
An
imagine
EDM concert.
Yeah, but like instead of like electronic drums, which I think they do have some aspects of their performance that's kind of electronic,
Yeah.
soundscapes and things of that nature. But I mean, they're playing all these like tribal drums. The music's just so cool. I mean, it's not for everybody.
Well, at the same
but-
time, too, it's like if Slipknot member had an actual musical purpose up there to create the sound that was on the stage, then it would make sense for them to be all up there doing what this band is doing.
Yeah.
Because they literally have that number of Slipknotian quantity on stage, but each has an integral part in the way the music is performed because
Absolutely.
one drummer is actually taking into consideration two different drums that he's focusing mainly on, because within those two drums have different pressure points to which different tonations come out of. So he's it's real crazy. I would hate to have his freaking job. You know who I'm talking about. Chief, like, horned boy up front.
Yeah, so I mean, they look cool.
What was
the
the name of this
ambiance
band
is cool.
again?
I
William
don't know how to
Hung?
pronounce it because I'm an idiot.
William Hung.
Me too.
So that's what it was.
She bangs.
You asked me if it was a Gundam style or something.
Yeah, I did.
Gundam style?
Gundam style. However you say it.
No, there was one that you played after that, and they were all like, they looked like they were standing like on the edge of Mongolia or something like that.
Oh,
like
yeah.
with their,
That was an accident. My fault.
yeah, and I'm like, what?
That was terrible.
Is
That
this
was
Gangnam
awful.
Style?
Anyway, so yeah, there's this really cool band who, and I'm not even saying it's historically accurate music either. It's just really awesome music, and it's a lot. It's very kind of game design, ambiance, some really killer vocals, and like I said, just really cool music if you're interested. But anyway, so the algorithm, I guess, suggested me this trailer, and it's like this, whether historically accurate or not, it doesn't matter.
Double
Shield
wide
Major,
or single wide?
what?
Double wide or single wide?
Oh God,
Whether see, that's why I hate
Hellblade?
puns.
trailer.
They just ruin my brain.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm allergic to puns.
You saw a trailer, and that trailer was for something.
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay. So it was just the coolest trailer, and it was like this chick. I don't know. I can't describe the trailer. You'll just have to go watch it. Hellblade 2 is like, and it's like a cinematic trailer. Came out like a year ago. There's all these reactions to it on YouTube. I had no idea what it was, but it's got that Viking theme, and they actually did the song to it. And I didn't realize that, but I watched the trailer and I just knew. I was like, I don't even want to look into this game because I'm going to be disappointed. Like after that trailer, nothing's going to live up to that.
I can
Right.
understand
Did
that.
that trailer have a good sized living room?
Oh my God, it's not a real trailer.
I'm so confused right now.
You're not confused. I kind of want to ride this Viking ship though, because I can't help it. This is the only style that looks decent on me. Like if I cut my hair a different way, you're gonna tell that that's not the style's purpose. That's a receding hairline. I get it. I like this style, and I think that it's popular right now because it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It works.
I
It's
definitely,
in.
yeah. Well, I think Game of Thrones kind of maybe helped that a little bit too, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just that this maybe the popular fashions. I'm not a fashionable person by any means, but yeah, I think it probably helped influence the style and all that.
So we would throw Vikings in with like the
Yeah, Daddy.
the romanticization of Vikings. The same with like knights. You would say.
Oh yeah, well,
Because,
I mean, they
like,
would have
it's
been
the
fighting
same-
them.
They almost seem mythical, like
Yeah.
because of the way they've been portrayed in all the things we play and see.
They actually probably predate some of the more like gnarly knights, like back in the early medieval period. I mean,
Yeah.
like the Viking. This would have been like what, the 9th century or something.
Yeah,
Like
So I mean, this is even
1300s.
before like really good armor and stuff.
right. It's just
I mean,
every way
there
they've
was,
shown.
There was still plate and stuff back then.
True, but
It
a
wasn't
lot had been
quite
lost.
as
A lot had been lost
flexy.
from the Roman Empire's fall.
I mean, that's true.
And so they were like, all the kingdoms back then were just desperately trying to live up to their previous Roman, predecessors.
I mean, it was a brutal way of life.
Oh,
back
absolutely.
then. I mean, and I do like to tell everybody I am related to Ragnar through Ivar. Ivar the Horrible. He wasn't
no.
boneless. He didn't have osteogenesis imperfecta.
How do you know?
Because that is due to a mistranslation. Because there's many accounts of him having a bow that only he was strong enough to pull back and being the first one down in the line for fighting. How could you do that if your bones were breaking like crazy? Doesn't make sense.
Sounds like somebody that was in charge of making sure somebody was writing the history about him.
Well, he also invented the blood eagle. We all know what that is.
Yeah, of
He's
course.
the only one.
It's a gun, and it's like
No,
it's
no.
got it's basically
50
like a
cal.
sniper.
No, no.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
sniper
50
rifle
cal.
bullet.
Yeah, the
and
Blood
a
Eagle.
pistol.
No,
yeah,
no.
Yeah, the
I know
Blood
that a
Eagle.
Viking
It's
can
a
do
Blood
that.
Eagle.
Of course.
That's Desert Eagle.
No, the Desert Eagle's when they fillet you down the back and pull your lungs out.
No, that's the Blood Eagle.
I'm upset with
and
this.
he performed it twice.
On himself?
No, to
okay.
other people.
Oh, that's
one of
upsetting.
them was a Dane.
Oh, beans.
Oh no!
Maybe that'll be my fate.
Did I know him?
Maybe.
Oh, Do you think that you would like to see another mythological creature and or person become the popularity contest winner for what we style ourselves after? Because Flock of Seagulls tried to do that pretty heavily, and that didn't really catch on with everyone.
I
Flock
don't
of
know what
seagulls?
words you use.
Yeah.
You're talking about Albie?
No, you were talking about like Vikings are now. That's what this entire conversation
I know,
was
but
over.
you confused me with all of your words.
I'm sorry, I talk really quickly sometimes when I have to get stuff out.
Packed a lot in there.
Yeah, thanks, baby. So what happens is... Oh, I'm sorry. What would you think a good period to recant would be as far as like what our style would be going after? Like if we don't want to do the Viking thing right now, what would we do? What were we going to do?
Oh, dude, like I said, I'm not a fashionable person whatsoever. So I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy.
I think you would look...
I'm just commenting on a trend that I see and maybe don't mind so much. I kind of like it too.
Yeah, you
Not
look
above it.
You look
pretty cool.
stellar. You look stellar as a Viking.
I
Well,
could see him
wasn't
also
trying, but-
rocking the Victorian powdered wig.
The macaroni style.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big old powdered wig. I can see it.
Oh, I could see that. And
That's what that's called, macaroni. I didn't know that.
Huh.
Until I watched John Adams on, or maybe I don't know what, I don't remember where I learned
They
it.
even called it macaroni style?
Yeah.
Is that what the
So it's
noodles are formed after?
Yankee Doodle Dandy?
Yeah.
Or like, what's they call it macaroni.
Stuck a
That's what
feather
that
in
was
his
about?
head and
It's about the
called
style.
It wasn't about the
macaroni.
food?
No, it was about the style of dress.
I thought he was just super
Because
into
it was like a
macaroni.
really high-class, rich kind of people.
I thought he was like a Johnny Appleseed,
And so
but
people
like
who were lower
pasta.
class and couldn't afford all the powdered wigs and stuff, they would just like make fun of them, you know?
My mind is blown right now because I've never understood that stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni.
Exactly.
Never understood it, and now I understand it, and I'm gonna cry.
Yankee Doodle is the Johnny Appleseed of pasta.
That's cool too.
He just rode around and did stuff with macaroni, right? Is that what I'm getting from this story?
His horse was named Macaroni.
His horse was named Macaroni.
Yes.
So in the word macaroni, we have the word Mac. Mac is a computer, but I want to talk about PCs as opposed to Macs. So people that, whenever you tell somebody, hey, I built a computer, a lot of people are like, oh my goodness gracious, how in the world did you do this impossible task of creating this machine that I surf the internet and play video games on? How did you possibly do that? Well, it only takes about 10 components to put them together to make the computer itself, and it's more like Lego than anything like engineering wise. Like it's a lot simpler than you may think it is.
He's lying again.
Dang it!
I can't take anything he says seriously.
Well, I mean, it's because these stupid grapes and the ones hanging on the wall.
I'll never.
That's us, fellas. And ladies.
So,
I'll
Austin?
never be able to build a computer.
Why? No, why, Marcus?
I'm just-
why?
I'm just
why would
gonna be
you
the-
never be able to do it?
I don't know. Explain why.
They're hard to
You were
nail
about to.
together.
You were about to. I was trying to get you back on topic.
No, I know that's fine. I want to hear why. Before I get into how easy it is, I want to hear what you feel may be the difficult part about it, because I used to think it would be a difficult thing too. But I want to hear why you say that you could never do it.
Probably because I've never had it explained to me, and probably because I've never thought about it for more than 15 seconds. That's just my honest answer.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not trying to be smart ass.
Which to me is odd, because you are a music producer. You create and master and edit and do all this stuff with music. A lot of things you play are done digitally whenever you make these epic things that you do as I Am Electric Man, which can be found on SoundCloud. A lot of your music is actually really, really good, and I've listened to it many times over.
Oh my God, Dane's plugging me right now, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, guys, look
That's
away.
How many
Look
times
away.
we gonna say the
Never
same
look
jokes
away.
tonight?
So, which is crazy to me, because I feel like your
That would translate into some sort of-
lifeblood, yeah, like your favorite thing to do involves a computer that needs to be able to handle that process.
Well, you should see me when my computer breaks down, because I lose my mind because I don't know how to fix it, you know?
Right.
And I feel helpless. And so maybe that's why.
Well, it's also a laptop, and laptops are harder to work on than a.
I've not always
a
worked on a
PC
laptop,
is.
though.
Oh, okay.
That's also a misconception, because I'm a sound man. I've been a sound man for about 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And people think that since I can do that, I can solve every one of your technical issues. That's not the case. I can't do that. I can't. So I'm in the same boat as Marcus.
No, I mean like equipment wise, like you would, like if you're like a sound guy, like you could look at a sound board and be like, this needs more for me to be able to be.
But people have come to me with their cell phones and like, hey, can you fix
okay.
this?
Yeah.
No,
'Cause
that's
you know how
that's
some
not my realm.
Technology works, yeah. Well, I mean, it's similar with computers too. It's like having a truck.
Yeah,
if
I
you're
like
the
it.
guy with a truck, then you got to help people move. If you're the guy that built a computer, you now have to help someone with every single electronic issue that they have.
Right.
You're aware that I work at a vape shop.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
the exact thing we meet like every day.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Oh, click, click, click. Oh, I didn't know it was turned off.
Yeah. No, it's real easy. I would like to go with you just through the quick list of all the parts you need to actually build. In this case, like a gaming PC, this is more built towards gaming, but for productivity as well. Because with me, I've built one already, and that's I do design work. So I like use Photoshop, InDesign, all the Adobe suite. Like I have to use all that, which takes a lot of processing power, and I also like to game on my computer, so I needed to make a pretty good one. I've got another one that's being currently built for me by cyberpowerpc.com because parts are so hard to acquire right now that you kind of have to buy one that someone's already built for you in order to get these very highly sought out parts, albeit it is more expensive, but it's the only way to obtain them right now. But I just want to kind of give you the rundown of what you'll need if you do get to that point where you want to research it to possibly do it yourself, and you'll feel great that you're able to accomplish this thing that you thought there's no possible way that I could do this. And that begins with a case for your parts of your computer. You got to have a box to stuff all your good stuff in.
I prefer natural casing.
That's fine. That's okay.
We
you
already
can go
went through that.
natural. You
So
can go
like just
more
the
rigid.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a
I'm
box.
trying to follow this.
Yeah, that's fine. You need a box, normally made of metal.
To put all the wires and chips in.
And all the chips and the wires in.
makes sense.
You're already with me. You're here. And a lot of times there's a fiberglass window on the side of that so you can look at all of your work. And you need a CPU. This is the brain of the computer. It's just this little square, and it plugs right into what's called a motherboard. And that has all the circuitry that makes the brain, that CPU, be able to communicate with the rest of the parts of your computer. And it's just this big, like, circuit board, and it's got a spot right there, usually around the middle, to where you just pop that little CPU in, the little brain. So you don't have to know how all this stuff works to be
just gotta
able to
stick it
build
together
one.
like
You just-
Legos.
Exactly. It's like Legos. You just put it together. You just stick it in the parts where the paper says to put the things. Next is RAM. So that is random access memory, not the Daft Punk album. But they're these little sticks that if we consider the CPU, the brain of your computer, the RAM is more like the subconscious of your computer. Breathing, you don't think about breathing. It's just something you have to do in the background in your brain to allow you to keep going. Your RAM is taking care of these small little computing things that just have to run in the background that don't take a lot of power, but they do have to constantly be going. So your RAM is what's doing that for you. Then you need a graphics card if you're wanting to do something more graphic intensive, like intensive, not intensive. What's intensive?
Well, that would be if you are intending to do so.
Right.
Like if your intent is to
Yes.
do things more graphic.
Right. That's where I was getting confused.
Don't smack it. Just flick your lip. There we go.
The graphics card is it lets you play video games real good. It makes what's called frame rates happen really quickly, and the higher frame rate you have, the smoother of a processor you're going to have with those games. If you don't want to play games at all, you don't even really need a graphics card. Some computers have onboard graphics with that motherboard.
And that's just like to
It's
display
included.
like the Windows graphics. and
Exactly.
stuff like
That's
that.
just getting it up on the screen, just the normal stuff that's not going to take things that need that high frame rate. Storage, you need things to put your files in. So basically just a memory card in there. That's all it is. It's either a hard drive or a digital one like a solid state drive, SSD. Anyway, all this does is it plugs in the little spot that the manual says to put it in, and you put a screw in it, and there you go. Now you have a bunch of files on your computer that you can store stuff into. It's great. A power supply. The thing is electronics. It needs a battery. All this is a big battery. You just plug it in the bottom of the thing. That's all that part is. And then there's cooling. You need fans to keep all the stuff cool. It's electronics and it's running all the time. So you got to have something to make all the parts cool, because if they get hot, it's not going to work anymore.
Well, where's it going?
In the case. They go in the case, Marcus.
I was trying to be like y'all.
The fans go in the case. Marcus, stay with me.
Like your refrigerator's running. Sorry.
Oh, you were trying to be a punny boy.
You're allergic to those.
You're allergic to those. No wonder it sounded so bad.
careful.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm
That's fine.
sweating so much right now.
He
That's
is.
okay.
He tried.
And the only other two things you need is a keyboard, mouse, and a monitor. Like, those are just things that plug in on the outside. That's not even working on the guts of the thing. Like, so that's all. Like, that's not that many things, right?
So
Not really.
To sum it up, I compiled a list of what you were saying as we were going.
Please
of
go.
what you needed.
Yes.
So you need a cardboard box.
Yes.
Doritos.
Bingo.
A sheep.
Yes.
Naked lady playing cards.
Of course.
A tote box.
Absolutely.
An extension cord.
Without one, you can't do it.
A radiator.
Yep.
A piano.
Please.
And a lizard.
Absolutely. That's all it takes.
Perfect.
Shove those in the box. And
So-
all of a sudden, you're playing Doom at 300 frames per second.
So you're the Robotron Messiah.
I think I'm getting there.
So you just gave us the recipe to build the Robotron Messiah.
Exactly. The robotic transforming Jesus.
I'll name my next album Robotron Messiah.
Ooh,
I'm in.
Sounds like a.
I'm there.
I don't know if Robotron is trademarked with Church of the Robotron.
They can't
We'll look
censor
into
me.
that.
They can't censor me.
Some YouTube channels you may want to check out if this sounds interesting to you at all. But if it bores you to absolute death, do not go to these websites. Please do not go to these people on this YouTubes. Do not go see them. They do not want to see you. You do not want to see them. But if you have the little spark of, hey, that sounds interesting, go watch Jay's 2 Cents, Linus Tech Tips, Paul's Hardware, and Gamers Nexus. Pretty much anything you want to know about computers, you can get through those guys, and they are entertaining and very knowledgeable and can teach you whatever you want. Also, lastly, if you really are interested in this and you're like, I think I may want to build a computer, there's a website called PC Part Picker. It goes through, it has a list of all the parts that you need to make a computer. And when you click on them, you can choose from the list of parts that you could possibly put in this thing. And if you pick a part that's not compatible with another one that you've picked, it will let you know on the screen. It'll say, hey, this is not compatible with this other piece that you picked. So you got to change one of them. And eventually you can pick all of these parts that go into the PC, and they'll all work together, and it'll even show you at what price points you can get those at, with links to like Amazon or Newegg and a bunch of these other websites, to where you can actually get the parts to make it. So it's like, it's easy,
Yeah,
man.
it even
Like,
does
it's
the price checking for you.
yes, it does.
It's like you can, it gives you a list of different places and all what you can pay for at all
Yes.
the places.
And,
so
like,
it does all your research for you.
So what you're telling me is these people that I thought were so smart for all this time are actually not that smart.
no.
Yeah, they're using an old school like Game Shark stuck into that Sega Genesis we call alive,
We're just
and that's what
That's
they're
what
doing
it
to
is.
build these.
Yeah, I'm
Did you see
sharp.
my finger gun?
Someone did, but yeah, it's not that crazy. Like, it's, you could sit there and think, what do I want a computer to be able to do and do well, and then you can look up what parts make it do that thing well, and then just make that the focal point of your PC. Because you can have the cardboard box as the box. Please don't use cardboard. Something very cheap, very, very cheap as the case. If you don't care what it looks like, and you're like, I just need it to process the music that I'm throwing at it so hard. So you're going to need a brain, the CPU, that can run a whole lot of threads and stuff like that, to where it can multitask, and then really high-speed RAM to be able to take care of all the stuff in the background.
It was
Like,
once described to me that the casing for the computer was the most outrageous thing for it, because it was actually the cheapest thing, and it really, there's no difference between any of them besides just
airflow and space and cable management and like outlets for like say like USB-C, USB 3.0.
So there are tons of differences.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
Maybe I
and
just
sizes
didn't listen to the point I was supposed to listen
No,
to.
it's okay. I didn't go into that part very much.
No,
but I mean,
not
there's
to
a lot of
you. I
different
listened
options.
to you.
Oh, someone else.
I was talking about someone else because oftentimes when I do have conversations, they do get drowned out by outside things happening in those conversations.
right, and
That probably picked up, right?
I'll crank it and we'll check and see if it does.
I doubt it even picked up my other 3. What?
Now you know how many farts there have been in this episode. So if you go back and listen through it, actually hidden within all of the episodes of Nerd It Through the Grapevine are secret farts.
Subliminal.
Subliminal farts through every episode. If you go through all 48 of our episodes, I don't know,
like that.
man. I don't know where we're at now. But yeah, there are subliminal farts that you can listen to, and then we'll give you a secret
And
message.
the crazy thing is, if you pull all the farts out and isolate them, put them in order, and play them backwards, we read you a bedtime story.
Aw. And with that, good night. Thank you for listening to Nerd It Through the Grapevine. You're probably listening on something like Spotify or iTunes or something like that. If you are on iTunes, actually, even if you're on Spotify, go over to iTunes, find the little stars, make a wish, make 5 wishes. If you want to wish upon a star, why would you make 1 wish? If you've got 5 wishes, if you can make 5 wishes, why would you stop at 3 where most things do? That's stupid. Don't be stupid. Make 5 wishes with 5 stars. And you can even type something nice about us. Don't tell them I told you you're stupid. Because you're not, because you click 5 stars.
And if you happen to still be listening at this point and not offended and gone, you could get on the Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages at Nerd Grapevine. Get on the Patreon account to where you can donate money to the podcast. You can receive a Nerd It Through the Grapevine custom sticker and our eternal love for doing so and supporting us in what we do. Wait, what happened?
You didn't tell them where at
I
on
know. I
Patreon.
was about, yeah, I was about
okay.
about to tell them it was going to be at Best Friends period Tiny Ink period.
Yes. And actually, today's topic that I came up with was inspired to me by Paul, our most recent Patreon member. So a big thanks to him and Nightmare Town for sponsoring us through Patreon.
That's
really
fantastic.
Cool. Yeah, it's awesome.
And we have a Discord. You can get on there and talk to the grapes live, uncircumcised, and uncensored. And we
hold
post
on,
links
wait,
to
just
Tiny
a minute
tabs.
there.
I am
little
not a
man.
liar.
What,
No,
live?
I am not a
What,
liar.
Live, uncut,
I-
uncensored.
I don't
There
have
we
a
go.
penis.
Did you say penis?
We're on there live, uncut, and uncensored. We have a meme channel, all kinds of great stuff. Get on there, Nerd It Through the Grapevine podcast, on your Discord. Come join us. Be family. Graft yourself into the vine.
And that brings us to the end of the show where we ask the question that's been plaguing everyone's minds for the past week. Oh, man. Tiny.
Yes,
Dane, when life gives you grapes,
jerk.
I don't know. I shove it into the motherboard and I turn it on and check and see what it does. And what it does is all of a sudden it pops up on the screen and it's this weird swirly purple like vortex thing. And I want to touch it. I'm not going to. I think I will touch it, actually. I think I want to touch it. It's drawing me in. It's drawing me closer. The mouse and the keyboard are both getting very hot, very warm. The room is starting to turn black, but the vortex continues spinning faster and deeper and harder and more until I want to touch it. I think I'm going to. I'm getting
Grab
closer.
your friend's staff and say his
Getting
name.
closer. I'm getting closer.
grab my staff and say my name.
I'm Electric Man.
Dang,
That was Marcus's name. I ruined it. Now I'm not in the computer anymore.
You have now downloaded Windows 10.
Shoot!